Hello everyone, we are Art of War.
And we believe in creating a community where people can talk about, learn, and improve their skills at Warhammer 40k.
Our channel has live stream competitive matches of 40k, played by the best players in the world.
And we focus on teaching you how to get better at Warhammer, while also emphasizing sportsmanship and engagement with our audience.
We strive to play every faction in the game to a top level, while also using a variety of lists to show off different playstyles for every faction.
We also offer a variety of other videos such as codex reviews, faction rankings, and tactics videos.
When you join our channel, you become part of our community, where we emphasize learning and positive conversation about competitive 40k.
You get early access to our videos, sub-badges, emotes, as well as rewatch those hangout and hobby sessions.
Joining our community is a great way for you to show your support for us, so we can keep making awesome videos for you and continuously expand the bounds of competitive 40k.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Art of War paint stream. I'm John Lennon. This is Richard Siegler. We are here to paint, hobby. Perhaps we will even hang out while we are doing these things. How you doing?
With Nick not here, you know.
With Nick not here, it's you never
know how much hangout's gonna happen.
That's true. I mean, we still hang out.
We hang out.
We hang out.
We also.
That's
There's
true.
the
We
mix.
do know how much hobby's happening. Oh no, I have green on my shirt. Oh, it's one of those LVO logos. It's green.
John
This
is
is
transparent.
Yeah, I played Ad Mech a couple days ago. Just got a whole shot right through me. This is what happens.
Enriched rounds, they do.
Yeah, the enriched rounds. Just dun, 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 dun. Ooh, boy. All right, we're rocking the green shirt. It's too late to change. This is happening.
That's why you wear the Art of War jersey, John.
I'm wearing a t-shirt because I don't like getting paint on my jersey.
You don't get paint on the jersey.
Yeah, well, you know what?
You can't.
I fully understand my own limits, and that is that I normally don't spill paint, but I also have spilled paint, so I just wear t-shirts. I'm not machine-like in my precision the way some members of the Art of War are.
Programmed retreat from that paint.
Programmed retreat there. That's what you need right there.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? RJ, Christian, Clown Mode, what's up?
Welcome.
How's everybody doing? What are you guys working on? Today I am working on a Skitarii Marshal. Yes, it's all Ad Mech all the time. Sakaran Ruststalkers, and I'm working on 8 servitors as well.
I'm working on a ton of different things. I'm working on my my Sisters of Battle right now. Today is all about taking a bunch of units that are at like bare tabletop 3-color standard and making them look a little bit better. 3-color is good, but it has to be a short-term thing. So I'd love to have the army fully painted and looking pretty. So today is about taking some models that we've seen on stream many times and making them look a little bit better. So right now I'm starting off with some multi-melter retributors. You know, for how often I use these darn girls, you would think that I would have finished painting them before now, but they've been sitting at about like 5 colors for like 4 or 5 months.
They got to that good enough stage.
Yeah, they got to the good enough stage. Like I've done some dry brushing, I've done some washes, I've done some highlighting, but like the gloves are still the same color as the armor. You know, the barrels aren't painted on these guns, and like there's just some like cables that are still just like base coated. So we're just trying to increase the overall quality here, make them look a little bit better, and that's good enough for me. There's plenty of sisters to paint. You know, that's just a constant right now.
There's always more sisters to paint.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's talk about
Just the characters alone.
the characters. Oh yeah, you've got to have one of everyone. Just about have one of everyone painted.
Which one don't you have painted? The Dialogus?
The Dialogus is the only one that I don't have. And Junith, but that's okay. Nick has a Junith. I think the Dialogus is the only one we don't have painted between Nick and I. But I have one new on Sprue, so she definitely is going to get painted, but got to admit it, she is not first in line. She's gonna have to wait her turn, and that's okay. She's gonna have to be okay with that.
Morning, fellas. Rich, what's your wish list for the Grey Knights? Well, it looks like Castle and Crow is going to get some love, at least. If only model-wise, that's still something. But
they're not gonna make his rules worse.
no, his
And that's
rules are
because he's
terrible.
already amazing. He's the perfect aberrant killing machine.
So I mean, all they have to do is just make it like a base, decent weapon. It doesn't have to be a full power brutal weapon, but
Yeah.
give it something. I mean, it's supposed to be an ancient demon sword. He's not using its full power, but still. But
I think
also
you
just
should be
special
able
rules
to-
to buff purifiers.
I think you should be able to mid-game perform an action where you gain the keyword chaos, but then all of his hits just do 3 mortal wounds as he unlocks the sword and falls to chaos. He has to take a leadership check every turn. If he fails it.
Then he joins your opponent's army.
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
end of
He
the
goes
turn.
God tier and joins the other side, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, at the end of
Oh,
the turn,
no.
he's their model.
Yep.
And you're like, okay,
I have made a grave mistake.
this
That's all right.
heretic will be purged.
It's alright. Castellan Crow never yields. That's kind of his thing.
But I don't know. I really like the tide system. Honestly, I'd like more reliability on the chaplain buffs because they're really quite powerful and I think essential to the army.
Yeah.
Would love an even deeper psychic tree. Honestly, kind of how Thousand Suns have a wide range of psychic powers to pick from. Grey Knights for a while only had their Codex tree, and then they got the character tree in the Psychic Awakening book. But I'd like a couple more powers, especially for the base units, because you end up having 2-3 of the same thing. I'd also like them to revisit their smite. Maybe have different units do a different power, and it does a varying amount of mortal wounds. Something a little more interesting than my army just does smites and then some extra powers.
Yep.
So,
both psychic armies coming out at the same time is going to be super interesting. I think I'm really excited to see that.
They're the first psychic heavy armies of the edition since we haven't gotten Eldar. Who knows what they're doing? What they're going with?
Tyranids theoretically are supposed to be a psychic heavy army. GW has just woefully failed to deliver on that one recently.
Theoretically,
Tyranids are a psychic heavy army. In the lore, they're like one of the most powerful psychic armies.
how would you rank them?
Like lore wise,
Yeah.
number 1.
Number 1 psychic army.
Number 1. Like psychers literally just explode by being near them. You know, like Necrons like turn the death ray. Like Tyranids is just like the whole planet's just all psychers. Like their brains just start leaking out. And then like other psychers like trying to like duel with like Tyranid ones, it's like literally impossible. Where like a zone throw can like overpower and like, you know, blow the brains out of a Thousand Sun sorcerer just just by like looking at them. So I think Tyranids need a lot of psychic love. That'd also be a really good way to add something to the army.
They have a couple decent powers.
They have some good powers. Like the
Catalyst,
Tyranid
Onslaught.
the Tyranid psychic tree is one of the strengths of the army, honestly.
Yeah.
I really like their psychic tree. I have no complaints about the actual tree they have. I just would love for some of the psychics to be a little better, like get some pluses in there, maybe cast a little bit more. I wouldn't mind a second tree.
The relic that they got in Psychic Awakening was
The relic for +1 cast is pretty good.
not bad.
Yeah. Tyranids aren't a bad psychic army. They just want to be better than Eldar.
Grey Knights need actual warlord traits. That's for sure. Their warlord traits are terrible.
They have warlord traits?
You would think, but it's called First to the Fray, or I'm picking a second psychic power from my Codex tree.
Yeah.
It's one of those two.
Happy Wednesday, my dudes. What's up, Tim Penny?
Look at that. Thanks so much for that $5 super chat, Tim. Hope you're doing well. Tim is our wonderful host of the Art of War podcast. And what's the latest episode, John?
I think the last episode that we recorded, which should be going live this week, was with Adrian from Tabletop Tactics. Tabletop Titans, whoops. Adrian from Tabletop Titans talking about his Adeptus Mechanicus. And then we've got some episodes coming up that are going to be covering Death Watch and some Eldari based on some GT, I think GT wins from this past weekend.
Okay, cool. Excited to hear all that. What about, let's see. Just got my Bellacore in the mail. Time to build so I can pray to not get paired into Ad Mech next weekend.
Good luck.
Good luck on that.
We all pray for these things. Unfortunately, Richard is not merciful.
There is no mercy with the Messiah.
Yep.
He does not accept mercy. How would you rank the 4 Primaris troop choices and why?
Ooh. Let's see. That's an interesting one. What do you think?
Well, that's just for both of us.
I know.
Are Reavers troop choice or are they?
Nope.
No. So it's the 3 different types.
It's intercessors, assault intercessors, infiltrators, and incursors.
I think infiltrators are the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just so useful right now with Solar Flare being something that you want to deny as much as possible. Like reserves are so good right now. They're all over the place. People are picking Retrieve Octarius data.
I don't actually know if they block out the solar flare.
They don't block out solo free. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They block out anybody trying to get
It's
traditional.
traditional reserves.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I think just based on retrieve Octarius data being so common,
Mhm.
I'd have to put them up there. Now I wouldn't spam them, but if I'm gonna start with one troop choice, I feel like one unit of infiltrators would be my number one. Then probably regular intercessors, mainly because, well, actually, honestly, I mean, you have to beat Ad Mech, so incursors. You need forward deploy.
Yeah.
And that's the incursors are they're the cheaper version of infiltrators, and they can forward deploy to prevent your Ad Mech infiltrators from getting in the middle of the table. Probably them second, honestly. Splurge a couple extra points.
Oh man, we are.
Then regular intercessors, then assault intercessors.
We are in disagreement, my friend. We did it. I do agree with you. I think incursors are number 2. However, I put the humble intercessors number 1.
I don't know. You're more impressed with the audible rifles double shooting than I've ever been.
Not the double shooting, just shooting in general.
I just don't. It's never done anything.
It always does things. I kill so many things with those audible rifles. It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, in Ultramarines, where you can pick the doctor, you can doctrine manipulate. It's a little better.
Ultramarines actually don't have shockingly little of the doctrine manipulation. That's Death Watch and Dark Angels really do it that well. Ultramarines, I just love rerolls. It just anytime you have access to rerolls, your guns get better. Dropping a bucket of dice on people when you start rerolling things, it adds up. I've found the infiltrators just get sacrificed a little too early, too often.
That's why I like one unit, though. I really like one unit.
Well, maybe we'll have to debate this further in the Space Marine Clinic this week,
Definitely.
where Richard will be joining me.
But I think, are you putting Assault Intercessors as last?
I am putting Assault Intercessors last, which is unfortunate because they're the cheapest one.
Yeah, which is surprising.
Which is surprising because usually like the cheap troop is like a popular one, but I have just never quite gotten the value out of them that I want. And they're just not cheap by a significant margin. It's only 5 points basically to give a unit of Assault Intercessors autobolt rifles for 15 shots. And that just feels like a bargain.
Yeah, it's not like they're bad. It's just
I think all 4
I'd rather
troops
just splurge a couple extra points.
Yeah, they have some play. Now, of course, if we're really ranking Space Marine troops, the number 1 option by a country mile is the Crusader Squad. But the rest of us, it's not going to be that. only for Black Templars do you get the fabled Crusader Squad.
What about your wish list for Octarius rules for Tyranids, John?
Oh man, Synapse -1 damage. Done.
You
Cross
think
the board.
they'll revisit Synapse and Octarius?
Nope. This is a wish list. That is not my expectation. It's just, it would be nice. I don't know. I think they mentioned on this stream that it was like High Fleet Leviathan centered, which makes sense because Leviathan is the one that is fighting the Orks in the Octarius sector in the lore. So I don't know if that's going to be a Codex supplement or an Army of Renown. I'd rather it be a supplement because Armies of Renown with limits on Tyranids, they're probably going to be like no Democarans or Swarm Lords. And it's going to be like, whatever. I don't even know how you put an Army of Renown on Tyranids. What do you limit?
You make gargoyles awesome.
You know what? I would love that. Because Leviathan is like supposed to be a high fleet that has like a good amount of like flying.
Yeah.
So maybe they have like buffs. I would love it if gargoyles did some mortal wounds or, you know, had more attacks.
You could get the flyover mortals.
Flyover mortals? Oh, don't tempt me. That would be the best.
They only go off on 6s, John. Can't be too
30 of them? I don't care.
Exactly.
1 CP flyover, I would take that. Just roll 30 dice, people. Oh, that would be so sweet. I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
Is there anything you're realistically expecting? Or?
Hard to say. Tyranid rules are so weird that I realistically expecting if they give us warlord traits that are functional, I'd be really happy. I think Tyranids should be a little sneaker than they are. I'd love to see like a redeploy. But that's just my Ultramarines showing through, you know?
What about a warlord trait to recycle models, but you have to pay the points pre-game for it?
Oh, that's a good call. Right? That's what we need, Richard.
Needed.
We need more ways to use reserve points in Tyranids. If Orks keep Unstoppable Green Tide for free, and then Tyranids don't get something like that, I don't even know what I'll do. I'm going to be inconsolable. You're going to have to hold me back.
These are sad days indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Wish me luck, boys. Gonna have a game 8 to 10 hours from this. First time using a death card without Mortarion in
Good luck. Enjoy having 480 points of good units in your list.
it.
No, Mortarion's not bad, but I think he's just a little slow, and the warp time nerf really.
Yeah, that kind of put the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I think that was the moment. Right
Then Ad Mech Chicken showed up, and we're like, yeah, he's gone. It's
Oh
okay.
my god, Ad Mech chickens. Why do you keep bringing those up?
It's because they're not even that amazing in Ad Mech.
Shut up. It's like, I know this would be the best unit in any other codex, but in Ad Mech, I don't know if we need them. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's honest.
Quit flexing.
They're good for sure.
Yeah, they certainly are. That is a way to put it. They are good.
Siegs, have you given up on Fuslavs, or do you think they still have a place? I mean, they're still good. It's just there's a lot of shooting in the game right now, and I don't feel like playing down, 260 plus points.
I
if
would
I
like
go
that.
second.
I would like that very much.
I just
Give me a sporting chance here. Come on.
they are really nice to have. They got great utility, lots
That's
of
really cool
mortals.
strats.
But at the end of the day, I don't think they're necessary at all, and I'm worried about going second against other shooting armies.
Mhm.
Shooting is the name of the game right now.
Yeah.
By and
Shooting
large.
armies have really gotten a lot of power recently.
So,
It's an interesting change in that dynamic.
but if it ever changes back towards hordes, heck yeah, I'd put the bombers back in.
Maybe Orks will be the army for that.
Maybe.
Is there any way to make the bombers strength 5, their little fiddle guns? Or is that Mars and that's gone?
That was that was
That was the Mars.
the Mars
Canonical.
Canonical.
It's so weird that they were like, you know what we need? We need custom mechanicals, like all this faction specific stuff, and they removed it and they didn't put it back into the codex.
Well, it was the same with the chaplain litanies, right?
They did the same thing there. So like, it's not inconsistent. It's just like, literally, are you gonna wait and in a year give us another campaign supplement that now has chaplain litanies in it?
Probably.
I'm gonna be so mad if they do
Probably.
that. Like, I know they're going to, but I'm gonna be mad. I know it's coming. I'm just gonna be like, ugh.
Well, to be fair, this is the same company that gave us a couple specialist books, some specialist
Vigilus?
attachments, and then we're just like, nah, these aren't for 9th.
Oh my god, give me Vigilus or give me Death. Come on. You know what? If tournaments allowed Vigilus, I would play Genestealer Cults to a tournament. They need points changes, they need new rules, but if they just gave us Vigilus, I would be willing to try.
How much, if having access to Vigilus, how much do you
It's
think that would
huge.
bring GSC up in power level?
I think that would bring them to like C tier. The problem is that Genestealer Cult doesn't hit hard enough for the current meta, and then it removed like the multiple roles of aberrants, and aberrants are too expensive to only do the one thing right now. Like there's like aberrants still hit really hard.
Yeah.
Right? Like that never went away. It was just, how many points do I invest in a beat stick unit that's of questionable durability, and as soon as the only thing it does is be questionable durability and hit hard, it's no longer worth like 300 points. It had to have multiple roles, have a little more dimension to it. Now it's just like, this is the only thing I do.
What did GSC have in Vigilus again? They had the fight
So
on death.
fight on death for aberrants, an aura of +1 advance, +1 charge for aberrants, an aura of reroll charges for acolytes, +1 to wound for acolytes, and then they had the ability to disembark from a truck after it moved and still be able to charge. And that would really be nice right now.
Yeah, because transports are
Yeah, because like I'm actually
They're
taking
quite useful.
transports and Genestealer Cult now. Oh man, my list would be so much better if I could just have the Brood Surge back. I don't know if I would actually use the aberrants, but the Brood Surge I would certainly use. Now there were also like 17 different ways to get +1 leadership, which really only mattered during the mental onslaught times. And I'm not mad that that's gone.
Yeah.
However, I think they should bring back unnerfed mental onslaught purely until they nerf Ad Mech. It's like I'm picking that ignore cover guy, and we're rolling until he's dead. Get some characters with that. I bet a Marshal's not that high leadership. What do you like, leadership 8?
He's probably
I bet
a sergeant is 7, so he's probably 8.
You know what my favorite revelation of the last couple weeks is? A Succubus is leadership 8. A Hecatrix Bloodbride is higher leadership than a Succubus. I don't understand how that happened.
What's the lowest leadership?
She's probably 9. I mean, she's a named character, but somehow a Succubus is only leadership 8, which apparently matters in the mirror matchup because, fight last stuff.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, just a Blood Bride is higher leadership than a Succubus. Blood.
She just hits hard. She has no confidence, though.
She has no confidence.
She's not an inspiring leader.
Oh,
But that's the reason to put that trait on her.
Nick almost got me with the Succubus again. He almost did the saves.
He does it every time.
He does it every time.
Every time.
So I'm like, here's my Celestine. Let me casually do 4 mortal wounds and like 5 saves to you. And he made all 5 saves. And I was like, stop. I'm like, stop. Like, what are you doing? And he's just like, Succubus. And then I was like, all right, well, that was the first 5 attacks. I'm going to Miracle Ice the last one and kill you. But I was like, can you not do this? You do not mess around with Nick Succubus. It is heinous.
You need to put the whole crisis unit into
Absolutely. Yep. The overkill is the only way to kill a Succubus.
Neither of us have gotten it as bad as Jack did.
No, Jack got it the worst. That was like an
12.
entire Repentia squad.
Yeah.
And he just went like 12 for 12.
Yeah, it was like 12 in ones. Cool. All 12. Literally all 12.
Yeah, that's just unacceptable. That should be a war crime.
What changed between the 8th and 9th edition Blood Angel Codex that made them weaker? Everything.
All you, buddy.
Everything.
Blood Angel Salt, Richard's got you.
They used to be able to 1 CP, bring a unit up in your movement phase, and then you bring it down at the end of movement phase. So this was a jump pack unit, so you could use it on a unit of Sanguinary Guard that could then 3d6 charge if you wanted to. But even more powerful than that was using it on Inceptors and getting them around the board. So that was a huge part of the late 8th edition strategy, early 9th. They lost all the smashy characters. They used to have obscenely hard-hitting smashy characters and ways to stack a ton of attacks. Blood Angels used to have the most attacks, period, and a lot of that stuff either doesn't stack or disappeared, unfortunately.
I feel like the beatstick characters were boring, but I acknowledge that they were probably stronger than what Blood Angels currently do.
But you saw it in the game against Death Guard, where it was late game, I just had a couple characters, but they hit so hard that they just eviscerate whatever it is.
Okay. I know, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I know they didn't really give you something else to
But I mean,
compensate,
look at the Succubus.
Okay, well, I'm not... The existence of the Succubus does not mean we need to promote
But
Blood
all the
Angels. Just bring it all down.
But they put nonsense, obscene characters in here for super cheap.
They do.
And they just took it away from Blood Angels.
I would like them
They
to
took it away from
Space
Space Wolves,
Dark
too.
Eldar, as they should.
Blood Angels also had multiple ways to add... they had exploding 6s, and you could add +1 to that. And so they could very easily get an obscene number of hits on you.
Yeah. Well, Jack, what is it? Jack really likes the chaplain right now. Again, I'm sure it's something we'll talk about in that Marine Clinic later this week, but he's really high on that Space Marine chaplain on bike.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely cool. Blood Angels had the worst specific chapter litany, so they didn't care about losing that. It was AP4 on 6 of the wounds. It's like, we don't need this. Our whole army's AP4.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Man, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But yeah, they don't hit as hard anymore. They don't have as much mobility. They don't have as much reliability in the charge, unfortunately. So
probably all true, unfortunately.
Yeah. The stuff that they did really well, which set them apart as, hey, Blood Angels do these things really well, they lost that. So now they're a combat Marine army that doesn't do things as well as other ones. They still hit hard, but it's like,
they do.
That's only one thing. And they have a good amount of speed, but not the fastest. With Marines, how do I beat a Demon Engine list?
Demon Engine list. I need to get Mark to play a Demon Engine list sometime.
Run a bunch of Dreadnoughts, and your Dreadnoughts are so much better than the Demons that it is hilarious.
Yep.
Take Ultramarines or Death Lodge. Take the armies that buff shooting, and you just blow them off the table.
Yeah. What chapter are they talking here? But definitely.
I assume Iron Warriors because it has Defilers, Decimators, Forge.
I mean, what chapter Marines?
Just says with Marines. So
Dreadnought heavy Marines is my answer.
Salamanders walking out the spam everywhere.
That would also do it. Yeah.
Check out Brad Chester's Salamander list from a little while ago. But if you want really detailed answers, there are Marine coaches that we have at the Art of War that are really good.
Yeah. Another question for that Marine Clinic, right?
Yep. John and I are actually in the Marine Clinic.
I'm excited about that.
So we do deep dives on particular lists and options that you want to run, tech choice to add. I miss the days of Siegs winning games with a crap codex. New Siegs all the best toys is way less fun. Hey, come on! I played for so long with. I played with Tau for a while, Grey Knights.
Also Ad Mech.
Ad Mech before they got their codex wasn't great.
It was still pretty good. Well, it definitely wasn't the same. And
Yeah.
this is different. Look at that new stuff. Like,
I played with Necrons for a while.
mm-hmm.
You know, I do like playing the armies that don't have all the cool stuff. But Ad Mech are the hot codex right now, so gotta get the games in.
There's one way to play it.
Seen the new Ork Dakka rules?
I
They're
have
now
seen
weapon
the
type.
Dakka rules. It feels like rapid fire with extra steps. Have you looked into this yet?
Why don't you explain it?
Okay, so Ork Dakka weapons and are no longer heavy 2 or heavy 1. It's now Dakka, and so like a big shooter was like heavy 3.
Yeah.
And it's now Dakka 5/3. So if you're at 36 inches, it's 3 shots, and if you're at 18 inches, it's 5 shots.
Okay.
So it's basically a rapid fire weapon. It's not heavy, so you don't take heavy penalties, which is gonna be very annoying. But you also can't advance and shoot it. But then with a Dakka weapon, you are you just get a different shot profile at half range. So it's basically rapid fire, but it has a number of shots instead of just double. So, and I think that means that it's usually gonna be less. Like the big shooter on the Gorkanite went from heavy 18 to Dakka 30/20. So it's 20 shots, and then at half range is 30 shots. So I guess if they just did like rapid fire 20, it'd be 20/40. So this is basically like a less powerful rapid fire. But when you're talking about it on traditionally heavy weapons, it's still much better than being a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
They also this is not Dakka, but they changed all of the rocket launch equivalents to D3 shots instead of 1, and blast. So like a rocket launch used to be 1 shot, strength 8, AP 2, damage flat 3. Now it's D3 and blast.
Yeah, those are gonna hit hard.
Yeah, just basically doubling the number of shots on all these weapons and also blasting rockets. That's gonna add up really fast. So it sounds like Orks are gonna be shooting a lot harder than before, which you were expecting stat buffs and everything from a new codex, but that is still a little bit scary to hear about. It's like, oh, this is what Orks do now, huh? Okay.
You know they're gonna hit hard in combat.
Yeah, they're gonna be punching. That's not a question. I'm really excited. Hopefully we get to see what these books look like on Saturday.
Nobody will play me on my Ad Mech. I'm at the point where I'm trying Rise of Lists, avoiding 20-mans, Iron Striders entirely.
That's unfortunate, but
There are some armies that just cannot hang.
There are some armies that cannot hang, and if I was playing,
some of them have 9th edition codexes.
Yeah, if I owned Genestealer Cults, that was my only army, I probably would not be playing pickup games with Richard right now. To be honest.
Yeah. I would not try and force you to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You would not have success. And like, nope, nope. We're not doing this.
But more sad is, GSC still have a codex on the way.
That's true. Yeah, with
Necrons don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't do anything to Ad Mech. So this army's just better at everything.
It's not what I would want to play. No, definitely not good.
Here's a 20-man warrior brick if it was actually scary.
Oh my god. Yes, Skitarii to warriors is just like terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like what is happening?
And significantly cheaper. Just insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
$10 super chat from Matt. Oh,
what?
Thank you so much, Matt. Hey guys, do you think blessings of the faithful upgrades are worth it for the Canonist Palatines? They don't seem to come up in my test games as often as I would like. What are your thoughts?
I think they are useful. With the caveat, what's that?
You haven't been taking them.
No, but that's also because I don't take Canonists or Palatines. So I think they're a cool mechanic and they've got some unique stuff. I don't think that you need to take like 2 or 3 of them. I think if I was running a Canonist Palatine, I would take one. However, I think for my money, I would rather actually just have Vol than a better Canonist. That's been my takeaway so far, and so far I have not regretted that. Vol has just been a monster in every game I've used her. So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't think that they're necessary. Like, I don't think you have to put them into a list. But if I was taking a Canonist / Palatine, I would almost certainly end up investing in one of those two. Probably Rapturous Blows is still really good. And I also think if you go away from the traditional melee melee orders like Bloody Rose, I think something like Rapturous Blows actually gains value, because then you kind of, put some extra melee punch into an army that may not normally have it, catch people by surprise. Like if I was trying to make Order Martyr Lady work pure without any Bloody Rose help, I would almost certainly end up with like Rapturous Blows on someone. Probably like a Rapturous Blows Palatine, and then the Canonist does that little mortal wound trick that you saw last time. That was cool. I like that.
Picked up 10 Rangers, no problem.
Yeah, it was just immediately, like, without even a question, didn't feel the need to send it back up. It was just like, this 10-man Ranger brick is almost certainly dead. And they certainly were. I think I got like 12 mortals.
Yeah, you did 12. Exactly.
Like, okay.
You did the max amount.
Yeah.
Just like, this is a consistent 12 mortals, which is a great thing to have in your back.
Yeah, that is a very valuable piece. Oh, can you imagine, like, hitting someone's Archon with that girl? Or, like, Drazar? Like, I think she could probably kill Drazar and an Archon at the same turn, like, without even blinking.
Probably.
Like, if they were near each other, I'd just multi-charge kill them both. It's like, you die now.
So those abilities that you stack, they work when you split attacks?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Don't know if I'm going to use them anytime soon. I didn't love Martyred Lady as a whole, unfortunately. But if anyone is curious to see how that went, we did play that game on YouTube yesterday, and that was, of course, into the Skitarii Veteran Cohort. I'll be trying out Bellacor's Legion of Renown tomorrow in the Art of War War Room. That's going to be Mr. Mark Perry playing against Jack Harpster.
I'm excited for that.
I am too. Chaos needs some love. I don't think any sane soul is going to deny that. And it would be really nice if this was the boost they needed. I don't know if it is, but it would be very good for them if it was.
It's definitely a boost for demons, in my opinion.
I think demons are going to benefit a little more than Chaos Space Marines from this. Even though Chaos Space Marines were not, in a great spot, I think they had more tools than demons did.
Yeah.
That would be my take.
Demons started off very strong, especially those Slanesh builds, but they've fallen off.
Not aged well, unfortunately.
Yeah. So this is a nice boost, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's really good for them. Okay, let's get these two girls in. Yep, a lot of touch-up work on individual things here. But it means I've got stuff to do while models dry.
Servitors doing servitor things.
Lyle Dixon asks, what's it going to take for John to bring a Battle Sanctum to the Lone Star Open? Honestly, I still haven't decided on a faction. I'm painting Sisters because my Marine's already done. I like my Sisters, and I want to get a couple more test games into them. Like I want to try a not Martyred Lady build into Richard's Ad Mech sometime, just to see if I can actually keep that game close. Because I genuinely think it's possible, especially with the Lone Star Open train format. Definitely wasn't going to take Sisters on AC if it was just ACO train. So I needed to get some test games and see if that's actually worth it. So I was honestly considering borrowing Richard's Ad Mech army, which I've gotten a lot of reps against it. I've played a couple games with it off stream, and there is some power there. Ad Mech are not bad.
Turns out.
So we'll see what happens. I'll Lister due on Saturday, so I'll probably try something before then.
John, when will we see your Ravenwing in the war room or on stream?
Hopefully soon.
We got the storm.
We got the storm speeders. So what's probably going to happen is as soon as the Sisters army is done, I think I'll because I'm really just trying to get a full 2K, not mixing and matching Nick and I's models, competitive list. Even if I don't take it to a tournament, I probably will be bringing it to like Charity Hammer because I really like this army and I think it's very fun to show off. After that, I'm going to try to paint up some Primaris Storm Speeders because I think they're actually good, and try to come up with a Ravenwing heavy list that could actually stand its ground. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I do like Dark Angels a lot, so I would love to get them back on the get them back on the table. I know you love your Ravenwing, right?
I think it's very powerful.
I think it's cool.
the mobility that the list has and
Yeah.
the tricks, they're all still very
There are
useful.
some really good tricks there. I don't know how worth it bikes are, like attack bikes, I should say. I think I want normal bikes.
The normal bike, I like the 4 bikes. One guy has a
Yeah.
melta gun, and then the attack bike in there.
You could even do like melta combi, melta.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you could do melta combi melta multi-melta for 5 melta shots from a 5-man squad. And that is on OPSEC unit, and they can go really
And
fast.
they are really annoying to kill. You don't finish them off, the apothecary is going to come up and help them out.
Yeah, right?
So I played against it and thought it was very strong.
You can definitely.
Having not played against a pure Ravenwing list before, it's like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to go a little heavier on the Ravenwing in future Dark Angel builds. But I'll probably still include some Greenwing. I don't anticipate having a lot of Terminators. Unfortunately, because I love Terminators, but I don't think that they're cutting the mustard, as we say.
Which is just
Surprising.
crazy.
Yeah, but the mission play. I just don't know if they do enough. It's crazy, like, like the reactions of the hot takes, like when that first drop, like, we're like, oh,
It's still really powerful.
It's still really good.
But
More rerolls, mortal wounds. People have figured out ways around this.
the codexes have given tools to.
The codexes have given tools to work around this, where suddenly everyone has more access to mortals, more access to rerolls, and it's like, you know what, this is no longer a problem. Actually, I think some of those old codexes still really don't like squaring up against Deathwing.
Marshall.
Marshall's coming along well.
He is. I
Excellent.
love the new Marshall model.
Yep. I'm working on some cherubs right now as well, just trying to get the whole Retributor squad done.
Do Ad Mech push Death Guard out of the meta, or can they still compete? That is for sure Death Guard's worst matchup.
Yeah, I think Ad Mech are very tough for slow-moving armies, because it's really hard to survive a couple turns of Ad Mech.
If you have no ways to shut them down, and your stuff is elite but doesn't have good good defense against crazy volume or mortals, it is a struggle. They have the bodyguard rule, and that can help them a bit, but it's still a major uphill battle. They just don't have enough units, and the cheap units are just instantly dead. There's no Poxwalkers surviving out in the open.
No, there are not.
So I think that's Death Guard's toughest matchup by far, and they do not have amazing tools for dealing. The best thing that I've seen is Nick going after the casters who could spam out a ton of mortals, potentially.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that Death Guard have against the Skitarii bricks.
Yeah, killing Skitarii, it's doable, but it takes some effort, and Mortal Wounds so far have been like the most effective thing we've seen on stream.
Yeah. With all the hordes coming out, is Lennon going to change his mind on Dakka Redemptor once the inevitable Volkite hike comes up?
I don't think I will. I mean, we'll see what happens, of course, when the Volkite changes. Maybe I'll just switch to twin autocannons. I don't know. But really, I think that the plasma being blast is just still so good into hordes, even though 12 shots is better than 6. High strength, high AP, multi damage. Like, the Gatling is only good for hordes, and the plasma is just so good into everything. Like, if there's a horde, I'll just blast them, and if there's no hordes, well, then the plasma is better because it's got high strength and multi damage. We can pick up Marines with every failed save, or even like Terminators or Aggressors, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree.
Magnetize your Redemptors, folks. Or actually, the kit is awesome because you can dry fit them. You do not have to magnetize your Redemptors, just don't glue the Gatling on. Nick glued a Gatling on, we had to cut it off and put a Lehman Russ Plasma Exterminator onto a Redemptor because he built the Gatling and threw out the Sprue. I'm like, well, I do have a couple of oversized plasma cannons from something, so let's see what we can make work. I thought that was a fun conversion. It actually, honestly, it does not look nearly as bad as I was expecting. Lyle Dixon asks, why do I like Landspeeder Storms but not the Vengeance? The Vengeance is 15 to 45 points cheaper for what seems like basically the same role. So Landspeeder, the Primaris Storm Speeder, is more wounds and ballistic skill 2. And the Landspeeder Vengeance, I just don't love it. No rerolls on a plasma weapon also really scares me. And the primary speeders normally have more shots because, as always with new vehicle kits, GW's like, okay, so we have this like tank and we gave it its guns. Yeah, well, like why don't we just strap like 2 guns to the side? What? Yeah, just like strap 4 more guns to the side. And just like, oh yeah, sure. And all of a sudden it's just it's an extra like 8 shots every turn. Just adds up.
What about Brother Tinnitus?
Brother Tinnitus, dude. It's like, yeah, like we put all the guns on this land speeder. Well, what are we doing back there? I mean, the other storm speeders just have a radar dish. Yeah, but like, you think we could fit 8 more shots in? Yeah, sure, why not, right? Let's just throw an extra.
What's the risk? No.
What's the risk? What? Brother Tinnitus. I'll paint up 1 because I have 3 storm speeders now. I wanted 2, but somehow I just kind of got 3. I'm like, oh, okay. So we'll do something there.
Make Nick have to play Brother Tinnitus.
You'll play against Brother Tinnitus. Brother Tinnitus is going to be unstoppable. This dude's going to go like kill Drazar in combat, shoot up a Succubus. It's going to be great. He's going to be killing raiders left and right.
John, how would your Ultramarines beat Double D McCarran?
Very consistently. No, I actually think that Ultramarines are very heavily favored in the tournament matchup because they have the 1 death ball that's very hard to approach. And with Buddy Overwatch, it's not easy to charge into it. And they also have a lot of long-range shots with rerolls, so D McCarrans can't really afford to just sit back, I think. I would expect that matchup favors the Ultramarines more often than not. Also, read a play. Really helpful. Because you don't want to deploy on the line and then go second against Tyranids, because Tyranids do have damage output that you have to respect, but they can't really take a punch. And Ultramarines are very good at being the first army to get the punch in. That's, the whole point of the list, quite frankly.
Is there anything Tyranids could do to help out?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's always play. Tyranids are one of those armies where a good general can always make something happen. So it's certainly not hopeless. You really need to isolate units, pick them off, get out of threat ranges, remove key threats. Like if you have Hive Guard in a good spot, you can take out the Volkites. Maybe double tap to make sure you kill 1 on turn 1. 1 Volkite maybe usually shouldn't kill a Team of Karen. Double tap again, take out the other one, and suddenly the Marine army is lost short at range. Then it only has plasma for longer than 24-inch guns, and plasma is never reliable. It's just kind of a slot machine you pull. Things like that. There's always going to be play. Terrain, of course, always helps. Also, the Ultramarine list is not as easy to play as it looks. So there's usually a room for like mistakes to find and exploit. I mean, even I make mistakes with the army sometimes. Like we talked about that on the Art of War Unbroken like a couple weeks ago.
Especially if you're going second, right? That's
if you go second into Tyranids, it's hard, or into Ultramarines, it's never easy. But I've seen the army lose going first before.
Do you guys think Orks have a high chance of hard countering Ad Mech with great speed plus offensive output in all phases? Remains to be seen.
Really remains to be seen. I don't have a good answer for that.
I don't know how much damage.
Possible, but I don't know. I don't know how much exactly. I don't know how much damage they're actually going to do. We don't know points cost. We don't know stats on most things. We don't know how fast they are. Orks traditionally have some fast units, but aren't always a fast army. Kind of like Marines in that regard. Marines are usually not a fast army. They just have fast elements. If Orks are the same way and those things can be killed, then they become a slow army. And Orks usually don't put all their stats in durability.
The things you're looking for is ability to put turn 1 pressure on before the buffs are up. The ability to push back infiltrating units. And also sniping and mortal wounds. So if Orks can do all those really well, then they will definitely be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. If Orks have good mortal wound output, maybe that knob is just charging and doing 5 mortal wounds every turn, right?
Yeah, the Squig Hog.
Squig Hog. He's got a metal plate on his head, so he does 5 mortals. It's like, what? It's like, that's all I had to do this whole time? Gonna put like a plate in the forehead of all my Vanguard veterans.
Come on, they do have a good strat.
They do. The Vanguard veterans are just fine. They're a great unit. Just joking around there.
Other Genestealers.
Genestealers.
They can put the metal on.
Yeah, the Genestealer Cult. Yeah, that's what the cult does all day. They just, they're mining, they're making iron, and they're just slapping plates on the heads of all the pure strains. Send them in, boys.
Still don't get cult traits, though.
No, absolutely not. Genestealers in my Genestealer Cult? Get out of here. Talk about literally number one requested fix. Let Genestealer Cult units all get the traits. That would be a complaint of mine, because all of the new codexes, like, everyone gets the trait. That's kind of the thing. Why have they not gone back and FAQ'd that Chaos Space Marine vehicles get Legion traits? And Genestealer Cult anything gets traits?
Far too much work.
Is it? Like, is that
No, it's
so
not.
hard? Is that so hard? Come on.
Catan don't get traits, John.
Alright, Catan makes sense. That's okay. But like, Genestealer Cult? The whole thing? Just the whole cult? Just forgot?
Just not feeling it.
They're just not feeling it today, huh?
Who are these strange Genestealers in this army?
Yeah, exactly.
Since the Thruster nerf, do you feel Tyraxi just don't give enough anymore for their cost? The 10 mans for sure. I wouldn't run the 10 Tyraxi anymore. It's not like they're terrible, but I just don't feel like they do enough. Once again, in like a more horde-based meta, you could run the 10 Flamers, and it'd be very powerful. Just start them on the board, move them up. They did get better with the veteran cohort.
Maybe that'll be good.
Access to advance and charge, +1 attack. That's just very good to have. So certainly something that you could think about. I still think the sterilizers are much better.
They're a little cheaper.
Yep. But if you want to run, you're pretty much always taking Retrieve Octarius. So running one of them is not a bad thing at all. Just to have a deep strike unit or use booster thrust later in the game.
T6 is a real thing you have to build for, though. Are they strength 4, strength 3 on their shooting?
Strength 4.
Oh, okay. Strength 4, that's not bad, though.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of those new Squighog boys. Because those, their stats were on Warhammer Community yesterday. Those boys are T6. An Ork on a Squig is the same toughness as a Dark Talon. It's like, what is happening here?
Yep. Sounds legitimate.
Yeah. Orks are tough. They have the toughest and the meanest and the greenest. And the Ork Codex is gonna be super exciting. They're gonna have so many like wacky rules.
They're gonna There's gonna be something like the shock attack gun.
Guaranteed.
It's gonna be
Guaranteed.
gorgeous.
It's like custom boost to blast is on a 6 to hit. Just do D6 mortals, but it's one shot. And it's like, oh,
But
okay.
then you take the relic and it does flat 6.
Oh yeah. When you take the relic, it's a flat 6, and you can reroll the hit, and
It's automatic.
It's like, oh boy.
Can't wait for this. Yeah, I honestly think running 5 is not a bad thing at all. Of the Traxi.
It's hard to make really bad choices with Ad Mech.
Yeah, like once again, most of the stuff is good. It's like the only things I haven't played thus far are the vehicles outside of Iron Striders and the
non-core vehicles.
Yeah. And I have not played the Cataphrons.
What about those Castlin robots?
Or Castlins.
Give those Castlin robots.
I haven't played Castlin Robots. Didn't play them in 8th either.
Played them like once or twice.
Maybe once.
They were not that impressive. No, didn't they like
Oh, no, I
kill
did.
the entire Yennari army?
Oh, yeah. I played against Mark and just sat them in the corner, and they just, whatever came into vision was just gone.
Yeah, against Eldar.
That was when the engine war came out, and I got the bombers, and the bombers were a hero because it drew them in to try and kill the bombers.
Yep.
Then 5 of Fiona Pains happened.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. So I made my opponent commit his whole army. Then I rolled so well that he didn't kill anything, and then I rolled so well that I killed his whole army. Good job, Siegs.
Well, that's when he tried to take down the big boss, Cawl.
Oh god,
And
like solitaire.
He tried to kill it with the solitaire. I interrupted, and Cawl just rolled 12 on the 2d6
So stupid.
extra clause. Just picked him up.
Yep.
Legend.
I hated
What a
that.
boss. I miss Cawl. Cawl, why? Why couldn't they give him actually good rolls?
His rules aren't even bad.
They're not bad, but they're just not great anymore.
Well, I get it. They buffed everything so high. It's like, okay.
It's just completely unnecessary.
What's Call's mechanical manipulation?
He doesn't have mechanical manipulation.
Oh, that's weird. That used to kind of be his thing.
Yeah, I think it's only the strat now that does it.
Okay, that's kind of weird. strange.
Let's actually go look what called this.
All right, we're gonna find called rules. Go again, buddy.
I haven't looked at them in a little while.
All right, I know he's a chapter master.
Yeah, he's a chapter master, but it doesn't give the real one.
Is Siegler ready for orcs to have better shooting than Tau? That's gonna happen. They're gonna outshoot my Ultramarines, and I'm gonna get salty about it. Veteran cohort and sterilizers. Yes, you certainly can, Simon Harris. You can use that to go 15 inches, get rod. Sterilizers have a ton of play as just to go out, get like retrieve Octarius data, stranglehold or engage, and then disappear. There's still a ton of play of that stratagem. It's a great stratagem. It's just no longer mandatory the way that it was before, because we all knew what it did, and it was good. All right. I feel like Paul's going to be like a perfectly fine unit. It's going to be like, oh, wait, I'm just playing Ad Mech, so it doesn't need it.
He's fine, but he's twice the cost of, like, you take 2 Holy Order guys instead of him.
How much does the call cost?
He's 180 points.
It's not cheap. I'll give you that one.
But, to the point about Tau,
Getting out
I don't want them to be the shootiest army in the game. I want them to have a lot of mobility tricks. And just debuffing things.
I still think guard should be the best shooting army in the game. Just like pure shooting, I feel like it should be guard. But like, you know, Tau should have more mobility than guard. Absolutely. Tau can have more defense than guard. No objection here.
Yeah, like Tau should be a pretty well balanced. More emphasis on the mobility.
Yeah, mobility, defensive tricks, and good ranged output. Like tie those, all 3 of those in equal parts.
But it doesn't have to be literally the best guns in the game.
They don't have to be the best at any of those. Just
no. Where's our friends? Lord of Mars himself.
The Lord of Mars.
All right, move 6. Oh, I forgot he became a monster, not infantry anymore. That.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a good friend of the ruin. My old enemy stairs.
Move 6 inches, hits on 2s. Strength 5. He goes to strength 7 with the Omnisciax, or strength 10 with the Arc Scourge. T6, 8 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 2 up save. Solar Atomizer is still 12 inches, Salt D3, strength 10, AP4, flat 3, blast, and then in half range it's flat 3 plus D3. Arc Scourge is when you make the attacks against vehicle, the damage is 2 and unmodified wound of 2+ wounds, which isn't bad, but it's only AP2 1 damage.
So it becomes 2 damage to the vehicles, but still, yeah, it's not amazing. But wounding on 2 is cool.
Still has the Mechadendrite Hive, so 2d6 additional attacks.
Strength 4 AP1?
Strength 5, no AP 1 damage.
Oh, okay.
And he gets Strength User. Alright, so he gets Canticles, of course. He has a 5-up invuln. He has the Captain rerolls, and then Lord of Mars, he gives Chapter Master. Lead in Prayer. In your command phase, you select 1 Cult Mechanicus core within 6, and if you do, then select a Canticle. It can be one already active. Start your next command phase. Both this model and that unit benefit from the
Cult
selected one
core
instead of the one that's active for your army. It's not in addition to like the Scutari cohort got.
Yeah,
I feel terrible, but it's Cult Mechanicus core, which is
Priest
terrible. Yes, exactly.
I feel like they should have made it work on all Mars core because like the whole point is that all the Mars stuff gets Canticles.
Yeah.
But then you're tying it back to Cult Mech anyway with
yeah.
Which I get is Qatari don't need buffs, so I'm not exactly losing any sleep over this, but if you want to make Call relevant, that'd be the best way to do it.
Then he has the healing, of course, but he can't heal anything anymore. He used to be able to just heal anything in the game, 1 wound.
Any Imperium?
Yeah. Now it's just the vehicles, Imperium or Mechanicus. And then he self-repairs.
How much does he heal a night?
D3.
D3 heal wounds on the night? Heck yeah, we're putting him back in. Putting him in, boys.
And then confirm, I believe he's 180 points, which is just enough. Yep.
180 is not cheap, I'll give you that one.
Like his special ability, his special thing, the lead purchase isn't good.
What's his Warlord trait?
The
Mars one, I'm sure?
It's -1 damage, I think.
It's not terrible, but you don't need him.
He's a 6-inch move monster.
Yeah. Hey, don't make fun of Tyranids. I've got plenty of those. Yeah, you want me to compare this guy to a Hera specs? It's like, oh wow, it's also a 6-inch move monster. Great.
Where is he? Doesn't Masterwork Bionics. Yep, that's the one. So he gets a 4-up invuln and then -1 damage. It's not terrible,
It's
but
not-
also
not
not.
bad.
It's not an aura. It's not a holy order trait. So that's why he's benched. Barry Austin, welcome to the Art of War membership. Thank you so much for joining us. Getting access to the sub badges, the emotes, the Hangout and Hobby VODs, but also a lot of cool things that we're doing, including adding one exclusive Worm video a week. So I've for the Tau Clinic from 2 weeks ago came up, and we also did the Sisters Clinic from last week. Those are available for our YouTube members as well as the Worm members. And then we are also doing for the at the end of the month, we are giving away an hour of coaching with your 2 favorite Art of War coaches. You get to decide, and in order to win, you have to be a member. That gets you 5 entries, and then for every super chat that you do, for every $1 of those super chats, you get another entry. So it's going to be a random giveaway, but obviously, the more you support the channel, the greater the chance of getting that. So we're going to do something like that each month.
We really appreciate that support.
Where did you leave? There's Mouse Scepter fun for John.
Maliceptors? Hold on. This is all me, buddy.
John, I'm working currently on the Mouse Scepter. Just arrived this morning. We need to start a Mouse Scepter fun for John, so he makes a list using it and plays it in the stream.
I mean, honestly, that wouldn't even. I could go get a Maliceptor.
The Manta, we definitely need a
The
fun.
Manta, we need a fun for the Manta.
We need a fun for the Manta.
That's not pocket change. We also need GW to put it back in stock so we can get one. I would be interested in a Maliceptor. It's been a hot minute since I've played Tyranids. They deserve some love. Hopefully the Successor book is what they need.
And if it's not, John is still going to play them on stream.
I will try. I
You
will
will
try my darndest. I really love my Tyranids.
You had a good run with them.
Yeah, I did. It was fun while that one lasted. I feel like Tyranids are like, whenever they get good, it's like always for like 2 months and the meta just pushes them right out. Then you wait until you find something else that works and it takes forever every time.
It's like undercosted Demacarons in a meta where they don't get instantly shot off the board. All right, we're talking now.
Yeah, because like long range guns were terrible into like Death Guard and Dark Angels. So just no one was bringing them, and I was like, hold on, does that mean we get to stand here? Yes. It's fun while it lasts, right?
It's always funny how the meta changes like that.
Yeah. Okay. Painting robes on these Zephyr is it's a painstaking process.
We need the Tyranid warriors to come back.
You know what? I would love an excuse to take Tyranid warriors.
You say Necrons don't have any planes Ad Mech, but what about a double Catan list with lots of speed via Wraiths and Scarabs? Like, it's fine. I still just don't think it's anywhere near enough. Warrior bricks evaporate against the Skitarii bricks, and you don't kill anything except for you whittle down the Skitarii each turn. Unless you're like me and you roll a bunch of 6s for no reason on Sky of Falling Stars.
Stop.
I rolled 3 6s that game.
Get out of here. Richard, you are not allowed to complain about dice in my presence.
I'm playing Necrons into Sisters. I need one thing to go right, and it was getting Sky's Falling Stars to go off. And it didn't, and that made that game even harder.
Poor Necrons.
Necrons need dice help.
Do you think we need a Nemesis or Nick to bust out some double Catan action into the Ad Mech?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what we need?
I think that's what...
You know, that would actually
I think that's what chat wants.
I think that's what chat wants. That would be a good subscriber match as well. Like, actually, unironically here.
Unironically.
Yeah.
If you want to see the Necrons into the Ad Mech, get Nemesis or Nick back.
Bring back
It's been a little while.
Nick.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, but like I think it's time. You know, every time he gets disintegrated, it takes longer and longer for the Cryptex to build back his mortal form.
Necrons have not won on the channel in a long time.
That's actually true. Yeah.
It's going way back to like I think the Silent King was the last person to win in the Necron game.
Probably. We need to get Nemesis or Nick a win. And Ad Mech. I don't know. That would be Nick's confidence would be sky high. He'd be like start talking about Necrons for LVO. You know, he's gonna take Necrons to GW events. Like you never know with him.
Perfect.
So what you need. Let's see here. Looks like we have a $5 super chat from Clown Mode. Thank you so much for the support, Clown Mode. And with it comes a question. John, I'm going to yellow some Ultramarines, Ultra memes, to an upcoming tournament. I do not expect to win, but what are your tips for a noob to Marines? So if you're new to Marines, the number one thing is that there is going to be a point in a tournament or in a tough game where you have to look at your army and be like, you know what, screw it, I'm Marines, I got this, and you need to go for it. And some armies can like hide until turn 5. Ultramarines, you cannot do that. You need to start, if you go first, obviously it's foot on the gas. But if you're going second, sometimes you need to like really be cautious and plan things out a little bit more. But you also can't do that forever. There has to come a point where you start pushing the army forward, making your plays for objectives. You can't wait too long for that. So that'd be my big advice is don't be afraid to deploy super conservatively with a redeploy if you go second. Protect your damage dealing assets, but don't wait too long to get back into the game. Because it's all about pacing and timing with the Ultramarine list. Because it's very consistent, very grindy. You can get really good scores with it very consistently. But doesn't work every time.
Pacing is just a big part of 9th edition. With the
Pacing it's a big part in general, just with the way primary happens. However, for like slower armies like the Ultramarine list, because the Ultramarine list isn't fast, it's just very methodical and it has redeploys, and it has a few key fast units like suppressors and storms. But as a whole, it's not fast. So you need to be very methodical and plan ahead how your turns are going to go, so that if you need to make an objective on turn 3 so that you hold it off for turn 4, you need to know that on turn 2 so you can start moving towards it. Like, which is weird, but like you have to start planning your turn 4 primary before you move on turn 2. Otherwise, it's just not going to get there in time, and you can get outscored, and that's really bad. Because the Ultramarine list usually wins the killing battles. Not always, but usually.
What games haven't you won the killing battle? Besides that Tau game.
That's literally the only one.
Is that the only one?
Really? Yeah,
I mean, I'm counting the tournament games, not the.
Yeah, I'm thinking every game. I don't think I've been like out resourced other than that game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the Ultramarines are pretty good. Yeah, even against the Dark Elder, my one loss with the list at ACO, I think I still had more resource at the end. Just as I said, that problem with getting the primers in time, that happened to me. And even though I'm aware of that, I still didn't quite make my moves in time. The Dark Elder player did a great job of blocking me off, and that made me suffer. I was just a little bit behind in the scoring battle. Even though I got like a 15 at the end, it wasn't quite enough to pull it back.
Yeah, you get to that point where you're like, I'm just one turn too late.
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those one turn too late kind of situations. Dark Elder are really good at inflicting on people.
Take your pick of Tau Army of Renown, Riptide Wing, or Hunter Cadre.
Oh my god!
I would be shocked if they buffed Riptides.
I would be so mad.
I'd be shocked. I feel like it'd have to be something. I feel like a Farsight Enclave supplement is the most likely thing.
Yeah, Farsight Army of Renown. But that'd be cool though.
Army of Renown or just a supplement. I think supplement is more likely. For Army of Renown, I could definitely see something buffing like the speed vehicles.
The thing is, I don't think Tau need a book. I don't want to see a campaign supplement for Tau. No. It's not because I hate Tau.
It's their fundamental rules need to be rewritten first.
Yeah, and like writing a Tau rule set for this page, for this codex, is really probably not going to translate well into a future codex.
Yeah.
And if it does, then I would have my questions about whether or not the future codex did enough.
Yeah.
Same thing for Tyranids. I would much rather have gotten a new codex than a supplement.
Yeah. There's underlying problems that need to be addressed. You can't just put band-aids over it.
No, unfortunately, you cannot.
The Farsight band-aid helped enough.
That's true. It gave you
an alternate playstyle. Yeah.
Okay, Tau needed options.
But it's firmly based on the old rules, and it helped mitigate their weaknesses. Like, oop, Markolites are terrible. Well, here's a way to avoid having to use Markolites.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good though.
Yeah, so they'd have to design Army of Renown that basically ignored everything that Tau does in the Codex, and just like, you don't need any of that stuff, just use this. That would actually work.
Yeah,
but it just shows how poorly written the 8th edition book was.
Yeah, you guys could use some love. Did not age well for sure.
$5 super chat from Tim Doran. Thank you so much, Tim. I'm thinking of bringing Salamanders to Flying Monkey. What are some suggestions for key units? Is Vulcan or the Chapter Master on bike worth it?
Definitely they are. I still personally favor Adrax Agatone as my
He's the 4 damage hammer, right?
He's the 4 damage hammer. He's -1 damage himself. The big thing is that he is that aura of +1 wound in combat, and I really like making melee by committee armies that shoot hard, like the Ultramarines. Like that's some of my favorite stuff to work with. That could also be a future Marine list that I try to play. I really like Adrax and then a bunch of Flamers, Meltas. I also actually like a Terminator squad in Salamanders right now. Because you have a spell to make them +1 toughness for T5, and you have a stratagem for +1 save against damage 1, which means that with a 1-up armor save, they're going to be getting a 2-up armor save against anything that's AP2 damage 1. And it's not like there's a metric crap ton of that in the meta right now that I'm specifically thinking of, like Ad Mech, but that is useful. And getting to T5 also means that shooting weight of fire stuff at them is not that effective. And if you've got an apothecary nearby, plus of course a strong invul, it gives you a really strong push. And then if someone tries to charge, you've got plenty of defensive, buffs like heroically intervening with, aggressors that also fired Buddy Overwatch for you. So some really cool options there, I think. And again, ignoring AP1, a lot of people started bringing out AP1 guns for Dark Eldar. And an anti-Dark Eldar meta, I think Salamanders are very good.
How many melted guns would you go for?
Honestly, I think just 1 unit. Just I think I would take a unit of Eradicators.
Don't go overboard with it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do anything
Not
crazy.
in this meta.
No. Yeah, you don't need to go crazy here. I don't really like the drop pod with devs. I know some people have favored that with Salamanders for a while, but I've not been a huge fan of that.
What are your mobility elements? That was our biggest thing with Salamanders.
Yeah, I think you build in a couple Storms bike squads. Maybe you keep attack bikes instead of Eradicators just for the mobility. I don't really know. I think it ends up being a methodical army the same way as the Ultramarine list, where you just have a couple of speed elements. I'd have to sit down and really work the list. To be honest, I haven't written a Salamanders list in many moons, but perhaps there's something there. I just think they're one of the better armies to have playing Ad Mech for Space Marines, which is I feel like a big part of Space Marines is changing your chapter to the meta, even if you don't change the army. Yeah, that is why
there's so many chapters.
There's like 12 to choose from now. You've got the main 9 legions. You have Black Templars, which have legitimate their own rules. Death Watch, the exact same things. That's 11. There's probably and then Successors.
Then you have all those wonderful White Dwarf chapters.
You know what? I want to know what. Okay, has anyone found rules for the Dark Krakens from the White Dwarf yet? If so, let me know. Put a link in the chat. I would like to read the Dark Kraken rules. I've seen pictures of people with the White Dwarfs. I know this thing's out in the wild. Someone tell me what the Dark Krakens do. I would like to know. They're Salamander Successors. Maybe this is
the time.
Maybe this is the time. It'll really depend on what their successor tactics are. Because you compare, because there have been 2 chapters that got it so far, I think. The Emperor's Spears and then the Exorcists. And the Exorcist special tactics are very mediocre, and their stratagems aren't enough to make up for it. So you don't really see Exorcists ever. But Emperor's Spears are actually kind of cool.
Nick is typing the Brown Scars in chat.
Brown Scars best chapter. We're gonna send those off to Warpfire.
We almost got Nick the other. We had joked with him when he was on a little vacation that we were gonna send it off to Warpfire, and he's walking out of the room and hadn't really checked that his army was there. So I'm like, yeah. And so we ended up sending up those Sons of Colgate to Warpfire, and he's like, oh my god, he goes to run over there. He did the double take.
No, it's alright. We didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
We want to.
It'll happen.
Oh, absolutely, it'll happen. 100%.
Their final glory moment is that LVO wonderful game against Magnus Morty tonight. Forever.
He took him. I think has he taken Marines to a tournament since then? Now that I think about it, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh man, that's harsh.
He took Space Wolves, but
oh yeah, he did that Space Wolf and Sisters trial run.
Yeah, Are you thinking 5 or 10 Terminators with that?
That is a great question. It's actually probably somewhere in between where you don't go the full 10-man, but I think you want more than 5. Just like 7 or 8 to be chunky enough to not get moved easily. I'm not trying to, take over the entire board with them. I just really want to have a 2-up save at T5 into Ad Mech. Because trying to get board control against Ad Mech is relatively difficult, because they will usually just kill whatever it is. So trying to find something that can, absolutely take the hit, and if anyone gets close, deal out a lot of damage back, I think that is very valuable, right?
Yeah.
It's just a very hard, specific scenario to set up.
Yeah, like Custodians are one of the few things that can kind of do it.
Yeah.
Because they have so many defensive strats, but it's CP reliant.
It absolutely is. But if you buff them on the right turns, you can make it work. But I usually prefer Marines to Custodians, even though Custodians are pretty fun. Custodians just really are like an ally army. Marines I like running pure. Man, this Zephyrum's robes are all over the place. What is she doing that the robes are going like this? Like, half of them are like swinging out to the left, and the other half is like flying to the right. I'm like, what? Is she landing?
This is a magic wind planet.
Yeah, like, what? The wind is in like 2 different directions here. At least it didn't give her the banner, because then the banner would be going in like a 3rd direction. That would be excruciating. That's okay. These Ephraim have definitely been in need of some love and attention.
Nick City's gonna warp fire me.
You know what? We're gonna warp fire his paint palette. That's what we should do. He doesn't use it anyway.
They wouldn't take it, I promise.
Oh, no. Can we give them some store credit to take it?
Maybe
we
should give away the Nick's paint palette to.
Oh, that could be
to chat.
Absolutely, we could give it away to chat. First person to super chat the cost of shipping, we will make Nick's paint palette.
Start a bidding war.
Yeah, you think Nick would
a relic of the Art of War.
Yeah, exactly. That thing belongs in the museum.
It certainly doesn't belong being used.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it does. It does. It's not what happens. It would be nice though.
What model would you be most upset being sent to Warpfire?
My Vindicar Assassin. That man is a hero of the Imperium.
He gives everybody else in the game hope. He gives Grotz hope that they can kill someone.
Absolutely. He is a champion of the downtrodden.
You can't be worse than me.
No. What? He's killed like 100 points worth of stuff across 8 games.
Remember when he shot into the Riptide and just didn't do anything at all?
Yeah, when I was like, I'm gonna spend the CP to do an auto D3 mortals. Like, this is great. It goes past the drones, shoot twice. I didn't get a hit out with the reroll. I'm like, just ones.
It would be the chapter master, the Teeth of Terror chapter master that I got from my coaching client, Nick Keever. He got a commission painting. And
all right. First of all, it would be the Taunar. Right? Not that I would do that.
That lives in Nick's room. That lives in his.
That's true. It's not even yours. It's actually Nick's.
It's actually Nick's.
Yeah. So that would be Nick's. Would be most upset about because it's his model.
Yes.
It's the nicest model he owns.
It is the nicest.
Yeah. Man. Khan. I love Khan.
Be Khan?
I love Khan. He's a hero. He has seen me through so many games. I feel like
it'd be one of your knights.
No, if the knights are replaceable, which hurts to say because I love them, but like Khan has so many good moments. Oh, hold on. Did Mr. SFXer link something? Does it not make it through? Can you not link?
Not mentioned here, just 2 data sheets for 2 named characters, 5th Company Captain and the Lexicanum, both of whom have relics replacing some of their standard weapons. Otherwise, they each get a Warlord trait straight out of the Codex and a combo of Fearsome Aspect and Indomitable Successor for their chapter tactic.
Indomitable?
Fearsome Aspect and Indomitable Successor.
So Fearsome Aspect is the morale one, so that's probably not what we're taking. Indomitable might be only wounded on 3+. Like, it's like the transhuman that only works on a 1 or 2.
Which would make sense if they're a Salamander Successor.
Yeah, it'd be extra chunky. They didn't get any stratagems. There's very low chance that I'm taking that. Doesn't seem like
Emperor Spears are still
yeah, that really sounds like It really sounds like Emperor Spears are still your go-to White Dwarf rules. Which is okay, because the Emperor Spears are my favorite meme. One of these days I'll bust them out. Are we doing Emperor Spears into Ad Mech sometime? Did Nurgle Matt request that one?
He did request that. It was somewhat tongue-in-cheek, so the next time
we'll get some confirmation from
we'll
Nurgle Matt.
confirm
I'm 100% okay.
I know he loves chaos, and he might be excited about the Bellicor rules, so we'll
Yeah.
see if he changes his mind. Based
Got
on
it.
that.
Well, if he wants Emperor Spears, I will do it.
We can make it happen.
I'm here for it. I have
I'll bring Cawl.
no problem being fed into the Ad Mech.
I'll bring Cawl.
Yeah, absolutely. I can out-meme you. Bring Cawl and some robots.
I'll bring Cawl. I'll bring the robots.
Bring the robots? All right.
I'll bring the Data Smith too for the first time.
Okay,
So you can give
Data
him,
Smith.
You can give him core, baby.
Heck yeah. Well, you have to take the Data
You,
Smith.
you have to take the Data Smith so that you get access to
Anything?
core, so that Cawl can give them the chapter master.
There you go.
It's a whole combo.
Call's Moving Castle.
It's like a 600-700 point investment.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Can I beat 1,300 points of Ad Mech? Unclear.
Do you recommend sacrosancts in 10-girl squads? I believe.
You know what? I was on the 2x5, trained for a while. Jack has started taking I think a 9 or 10 girl squad. I think it's a 10. And he says he likes it. So like I'm warming up to the idea, honestly. It's actually kind of cool. I think he's actually gonna be using a large unit in the war room later this week. Tomorrow actually. So I'm warming up to the large sacrosanct unit. That might make its way into my lists.
Is that just for stringing out purposes?
It's just tougher because like I'm a little bit worried about like something random coming in and killing a sacrosanct squad, because that would suck, right?
Just putting you too far behind in your plan, your overall game.
Exactly. Because if I just lost a sacrosanct squad that was covering Celestine, that can very quickly snowball what I'm trying to do with her. So
So you just take 110, you think?
I actually kind of want to take like a 10 and a 5. Just to have a big one, but to still have a second unit for like little plays. Yeah. So I'm not fully committed to where I'm going to go with that. But it's an interesting idea of the bigger squad, because usually I was going very MSU, but I think I could be convinced. I think I could be convinced on that.
Because sisters do MSU so well.
Sisters do MSU relatively well, so I'm not opposed to more MSU all the time. It's also nice because sisters sometimes get a little bit tight on their slots, which is a very real problem.
Thanks so much, Kudos. Hope you're enjoying it. Richard, have you made any updates to your Ad Mech list with the 3 9-man units of Raiders? I love the 27 Raiders. I'm completely sold on them, as you can see. I've got
Why is there more? Even more.
I've been using a self-round unit as one, so I have the actual models to finish off the 27. So that is going to be the next project after these models are done. And I am sold on it. I love it. I think it's great. They help you play the mission so well, contest objectives, help protect your objectives, snipe characters. Great. Mortal wounds. Love them. And as you saw, I just played them yesterday in the veteran cohort. They still did great there. Doesn't matter what form you're playing. I think Emperor Spears would be right up your alley, given your Ultramarine shoot hard army that does melee by committee.
Yeah, Emperor Spears are amazing. I love them. I think I would, the reason I did my successors instead of Emperor Spears, even though they have good tactics, was because Master Artisans benefits the Dreadnoughts a lot more than +1 advance with charge. But it is still very strong. I think if I knew I was going to play on very heavy terrain boards like WTC, I actually probably would take that army as Emperor Spears and build in just 1 or 2 more like fast-moving melee units, because Emperor Spears have such cool stuff. So I don't know what that would actually look like, but hey, maybe I will play them sometime on stream. Maybe that'll be a request, and I'd be happy to write a list about it. Emperor Spears are really cool, and yeah, they're like the prototypical melee by committee army, because they have a strat for like, I think +1 to wound on the charge, and then I think they have like a pick 1 enemy unit and all Emperor Spears that attack get rerolls to hit or something. So you can get like 2 or 3 squads going in and just really bullying people up.
What do you lose from your successor?
I lose Master Artisans.
That's it? Yeah.
That's it. So I replace Master Artisans with +1 advance to charge, and that gives me access to
some new strats.
to strats and roller traits and relics. Because like there's good stuff. Like there's a relic that lets a librarian or a chaplain reroll their cast or chant, which is honestly really good. Like I would probably just take that relic. So I'd probably take one of the Emperor Spear's relics, the reroll, and then access to strats is really nice. Because I love passing spells on my librarian. What can I say?
Fight his brother strat is literally meleeing by committee.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one where you put a couple Emperor Spear's infantry in and they all get rerolls to hit.
On a scale from joke to threatening, how would you rate the turn 1 Bloodletter Bomb charge out of the Disciples?
That's not a joke. Like that's actually
you
scary.
need to prepare for that.
Yeah, infiltrating units feel really nice right now.
Yeah.
Even better if it's an infiltrating unit that can be removed from the table and go back in reserves, such as Mandrakes or Sicarans. Because then you don't have to emerge Desperate Breakout if you get trapped.
Yep.
I mean, once you have access to that, they're just going to kill you. But, like, whatever, you don't have to spend 2 CP on saving one Mandrake so that you can, take care of this giant bloodletter-sized problem in your face.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
You're thinking if they take the Epitome?
Yeah, or just if they tri-point you.
Yeah.
So, just having, tools like that is really, really useful into Bloodletter Bomb. I think it's scary. I don't know if Mark's going to be using it or not. I don't know what his list is for...
I believe he has two Bloodletter units.
2 Bloodletter units? Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I'm excited to see that. Spears of his strat, 1 CP plus 1 wound. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great strat. It's only infantry, but it's still really good. So, yes. Emperor Spears are just better Blood Angels. I'm sorry. It's Blood Angels that shoot.
Yep.
I would probably, take... If I went Emperor Spears, I'd probably, cut 1 Dreadnought, maybe 2, and probably 1. And then I would start putting in, like a 10-man Vanguard. I'd probably cut 1 Redemptor or 1 Contemptor. Probably a Contemptor. Probably cut 1 Contemptor and something else. And I would put in a 10-man Vanguard squad. And just, have the Prominent squad and just have, a couple of really good melee units that can go out with +1 to wound. You can do a ton of damage with Ultramarines. Because, you can very easily give them rerolls to hit. And then they naturally rerolls to wound. And then you can give them +1 attack, +1 to wound. And they're going to start really hitting people. Start getting to, Zephyr status right there. That is a great place to be. It's actually better than Zephyr. That's scary.
Why are Separate Traders so expensive?
Is that money or points? Because points, they are cheap.
Money.
Okay,
Money, I
that
believe
makes
they
sense.
are very pricey.
Blame GW on that one. It's because they knew we were going to buy it anyway. The rules were bad, they'd be cheaper.
They were very good with Engine War. They're very good now.
Yep, just like that.
Although honestly, you haven't seen many people running them. Manuchima is the only other person.
I haven't seen them be very popular, which is surprising because I feel like they're very good.
I think they're amazing. Alright, all these little servitors.
All the little servers.
Get some bronze on them. How are your how's Zephyr coming along?
Oh, they're coming along well. I'm just putting the base coat on the robes for all of them. I've already done the armor. Did the armor a long time ago. A quick rush paint job for Nick so that he could use them on the stream. But it's time to get the girls looking a little better. They need an update. So just painting robes. I'm also repainting the robes Seraphim because I kind of started off Sisters with a different color scheme. And I pretty early on realized I didn't like blue robes, but I still had a couple units floating around with some blue robes on them. And I've updated a magenta pink, and I think it just looks better. I think it just pops a lot better on the tabletop.
Yeah.
Especially, with the red weapons casings. That looks pretty good, I think. I'm a fan of the red weapons casings. I use it on my Death Watch, and I'm using it on my Sisters. And I think it really adds a little splash to the army.
Wish flayed ones were cheaper too. Yeah.
Dollars, yeah. I've heard they are expensive as well.
Dollars and points. Not having core is a real big nerf.
I keep forgetting that nothing in your army has core.
Nothing in Necrons is core.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because it's weird because every other army has been very extensive with core, but we got Necrons first. We're okay, maybe Space Marines are the exception. There's not gonna be a lot of core. Then we kept getting more books. We're nope,
Necrons
It
are the
was
exception.
just Necrons. Maybe Necrons will get like a quick turnaround on codexes, and
They're not Space Marines, John.
maybe they will get a campaign supplement where a Zerakin. Okay, what if they give like, again, I really want a Zerakin supplement because they've been having them up so much. What if there's a warlord trait that like let you pick unit and give it core?
That'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
It would be awesome. It would instantly be the second best relic that they have.
Yeah, relic or warlord trait, like give some more core access for Zerakin Dynasty or something. I don't know, give people a reason to play Zerakin. Like the warlord picks a unit within 6 inches, it gets core, and then like there's a relic that like gives a destroyer lord an aura of core for destroyers. Let's do something like that.
Yeah, they could do Army of Renown Destroyer Cult.
Unfortunately, Necrons are nowhere to be found in Octarius, just from a lore perspective.
Yeah.
I assume they're not going to be in the first book. I assume that there's 2 books, because every campaign with GW is a 2-part series. Maybe they'll be in the second part. I think they deserve it. I think Necrons should get a campaign. Not an Army of Renown, like a supplement.
Yeah.
Really want to see the Silent King. Like the Zerakin Dynasty get some love.
I
just think there's so
much. You want
much
to see the Silent King again?
Yeah, you know what? I do. He's like been a big bad in the lore for a long time. They're finally bringing him in.
He was a big bad on the tabletop for a while too.
Not a while, but he was for a very short amount of time.
Couple months.
Couple of months. Back in my day, like the Wraith Knight was the best unit of the game for like 4 years in a row. It was incredible.
Want to run lots of raiders, but always find it hard to justify the detachments. That's the big thing with me. I've accepted sacrificing command points and just being more disciplined with it to get better units overall.
For what? For Ad Mech in general?
Yeah.
I've done the same thing for Sisters. Better units, CP discipline, toss a little regen in, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
CP regen, how I love you.
I thought about just throwing in the cheap Inquisitor with the CP regen.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely not bad.
It's tough.
It is tough to fit it sometimes. I've been experimenting with an Inquisitor in my sister's army. Usually does good work though.
Eisenhorn
wasn't bad.
I was never gonna snipe him.
I
You could have put him out in the open.
Oh no!
Let him do.
I should have known.
I was not gonna kill Eisenhorn.
I should have known. Yeah, I could have been a little more aggressive there.
I was gonna let him do his thing.
All right.
He comes in with Barbarous Satyr. Be proud of him.
Should have saved some ranges for him to kill.
He killed a couple.
Mm-hmm.
He killed like 5 that and the second time he did.
Yes. Yeah, he's not bad. I was like,
I'm surprised you didn't spend the CP for the reroll. But
the whole point was that I took him over the normal Inquisitor because I was trying to save command points.
yeah,
So I was really trying not to spend that one.
you gotta get the Demon Host, John. Come on.
No.
He's Strubael. He's a trapped Demon Prince.
Yeah, I'm sure he's angry about it.
He's very angry about it.
Yeah, I would be too, not gonna lie. If I was stuck in a demon host, I would be big mad.
Jack is stuck in a Demon Host.
Jack?
Jack.
We could trap Jack in a demon host. It's not hard.
Jack is trapped in the Titanic for real.
Yeah, oh my god. Poor Jack. I didn't even know that could happen. And then like, oh, okay.
We played an old board game that I had, Titanic, where everybody's a different character trying to escape from the Titanic. Jack was the only person not to leave second class, and
He got stuck.
He was
He ran out of money, was stuck behind a paywall, and couldn't get more money, and none of us were feeling charitable. So Jack had
the telegrams. The
telegrams would kill him.
He intentionally went after them because he ran out of money to buy the things he needed to get out of second class. And
they put him in jail.
They just
It just got worse and worse.
It just got worse. The debt collector came.
Yeah. What are we painting today? I am painting a ton of different Sisters units, doing a lot of touch-up work on a bunch of different models. Just trying to keep that ball rolling and get the whole collection up to speed. Let's go revisit these Retributors. I think they're good by now.
Sold me to the Farsight Enclaves. Is there a better recipient for Darkstrider's +1 to wound than Shadow Sun? Shadow Sun's also a terrible recipient.
Is she infantry?
Yeah. She's infantry.
She only has 2 shots, right?
With the high one, the high yield version of her
You
gun.
can do a low damage. It's like...
Yeah, it's like she has a light missile pod as well in the new profile. She's just terrible though.
Oh, poor Shadow
don't take
Sun.
Shadow Sun.
Poor Shadow Sun.
The best thing that you would use it on is a breacher squad, a full breacher squad that you pop reroll wounds on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Dark Strider is really good, right? He's fall back and shoot for infantry.
Yeah, well, you pick one infantry unit.
Oh, it's only one to fall back and shoot?
Yeah.
I thought he picked one for +1 wound and he was an aura for fall back and shoot with
I don't
infantry.
think he's an aura for fall back and shoot. But it was just one.
You know
I
what?
also have not played Dark Strider in so long.
Would you be willing to bet a pub sub on Tower Rules?
Let's do it.
I'm not willing to, but I would like to look it up for bragging rights.
I still think it's you pick one.
Do you have the Tau Codex or I want to pull up one?
Because Tau doesn't have very many auras at all.
That's true, they don't. I don't
I'll
know.
go grab it for you. I know where it is.
You know where it is? Alright, I'm curious here. I could be wrong.
Are we betting on it?
No, I'm not betting anything.
No?
No. So my whole argument here is that someone has used it as an aura against me. So I'm just assuming it's an aura. But it's possible that
It might be an aura, but Tau has so few auras.
Yeah. See, if we make the bet, I'm gonna lose it, and if we don't make the bet, I'm gonna be right. Like, you know how this works.
That's how it works.
It's always how it works. So I'm gonna not make
No,
the bet.
all right, I'll grab it in 1 sec.
Yeah, take it
I'll
down.
just finish getting the bronze on here.
Mm-hmm.
$5 super chat from Matt. Oh, hey Richard, if Ad Mech were FAQ'd in a month or so, is it just a matter of points, or do some abilities need to be adjusted as well? The biggest thing is that they're, unlike the veteran cohort, which prices their strats based on either power level or number of different types of units can get it for cheaper. Their very powerful strats don't interact, and some of their abilities don't interact with the number of units in the number of models in a unit.
Yeah.
That's a core issue. Now, are they going to actually fix that? Probably not. They're going to end up almost certainly just increasing points lazily. So I could see the Holy Order traits going up, but they're already pretty pricey.
I mean, like,
Ignore AP 1 and 2 is just super good.
we saw Chief Apothecary go up, so I wouldn't be shocked if Holy Orders went up, and I think it would be completely justified, to be clear.
It's 35 points right now.
They're so good.
Yeah. But ignore AP 1 and 2 is honestly the biggest one.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's because it works in shooting at melee.
I think they should just change that to instead be on you treat AP2 as AP1, and you treat AP1 as AP dash, so that you don't completely ignore AP2.
I think they should do that for all the abilities.
I agree. Well, they've done it for several of them.
The new one, yeah.
They've done it
They didn't do
for
it
Valorous Heart. I don't mind it on like stratagems where you pay for it, like Custodies where you pay a CP to ignore AP 1 and 2, and it's unlimited units.
But some
I don't mind that, but if it's universal, it's like, yeah, it's too much.
and I don't think many things need to go up in points. I think it's the stacking of the buffs.
Yeah,
the
'cause,
biggest
like,
thing. It's too many armies can't actually deal with that.
Nope.
And that just means you lose. Like you can't deal with the giant obsec unit on your objectives.
What if like you
just
could
lose.
only put a Holy Order ability on only one Holy Order unit ability on a unit? It's like a unit can't benefit from multiple Holy Orders at once.
Would be great.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's the biggest issue, because really it's ignore AP 1 and 2. Then you're thinking of the Warlord trait for Lucius, which is transhuman.
and then a relic for cover.
And then, yeah, exactly. So
That's
they're
the
split
Holy
all
Orders
over.
are the problem.
Stacking the Holy Orders isn't actually a huge deal.
That's fair.
And because they're spread over, you can't just say, you can't stack this thing. They'd have to write it in such a convoluted way.
Yeah, that's a very hard one to actually put into practice. That's fair.
Remember when the Royal Warden was an aura, fallback and shoot and charge, and for more than just core? For a brief amount of time,
One shining moment.
he was the hero.
The hero.
You know who wasn't a hero? The Plasmacite.
I love those plasma sites.
I
I loved them.
The Deceiver
so
was amazing.
much.
The Deceiver needs to come back. It's been too long. He killed too many Tyranids that one time, and we're like, no more. We know.
Bring him
how to use
back.
it.
I'll kill him. Tyrannifex beat him to death in combat.
But yeah, it's tough. Like, what else?
You know what you actually do there?
Yeah.
I think you do a couple lurks across the board, and I think some of them are points. Like, I think like stacking points on the Omnis specs.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
He's like 5 points is like totally makes sense for like a 5 or 10 man squad. 20 man, it's like, okay, let's make this like 20 points to ignore cover here. Like stack the points there. I think you do a little bit of a love tap to the ignore AP 1 and 2. I think you change the cost in some stratagems. I think enriched rounds goes up to 2. more, or maybe make it on an unmodified 5-up instead of an unmodified 4-up. Like a 4-up feels like so reliable. Maybe make it like a 2 CP minimum, I think, and then I don't know, 2 CP there. I think Iron Striders could afford to go up a, but they're not even that popular. They're just so cheap. Just everything's so cheap. Frankly, I think a lot of units in the book need to go up 1 or 2 points model.
Well, we see with Drukhari, they're just not doing that. That's
a chapter proof thing. For an immediate nerf, I agree that's not realistic. Well, who knows?
So it's just hard to say. I feel like it's the stacking of defensive buffs that's the most impressive thing about the army.
That is definitely one of the biggest problems for me. That's one of like the biggest hurdles where I'm like, all right, this isn't right.
Don't know what the solution is to that.
It's a tough one.
So we'll see if they get creative. But yeah, thanks so much for the super chat, Matt.
We really
And
appreciate
I'm
it.
sure this is what Games Workshop will be racking their head over in like a month or two.
Hopefully they're thinking about it because it needs to be addressed.
You don't have that flashy like 88 win percent right now.
But I think that's because Drukhari exists.
Yeah.
I think if
That's
Ad
why,
Mech had come out first, I think we would have had the exact same problem in opposite directions.
Yeah, that's why. Like we'll see what Orks do.
We'll see what Orks do, yeah, because I don't think any nerfs are going to come in before Orks
No.
are really in the meta.
Yeah, I don't expect anything before the GW event. Now, if Ad Mech just stopped that, then I would assume they'll do an FAQ after that.
I would hope.
I think if you bring the Demon Host, you lose any mono-faction rules an army may have.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, you summon it in, right? It's not
I think they ruled that summoning stuff in doesn't break.
Yeah, it doesn't break detachment.
I would have to check that. I'm not sure. I definitely would check before I brought it to a tournament, though.
It's not. You're not actually bringing it for. You're bringing it for memes and style points.
Yeah.
You're not bringing it because it's actually useful.
It's not bad.
It's not terrible, but
great.
it's not what you need.
No.
What faction do you think have the best tools to fight Ad Mech between Death Guard and Sisters?
Sisters.
Sisters have more units. They have units that have more speed than Death Guard.
Speed is a big thing because you can't allow Ad Mech to dictate the whole game. Yeah. If you do, they will almost certainly dictate it in a way that is advantageous for them, which most players will do that. That's not good. You do not want Ad Mech controlling the game.
Enrich rounds just needs to go.
You know what? Wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, I've used it one time. It's good.
It's really good.
I don't think it's needed though at all.
You also haven't been playing the types of armies that are really susceptible to it. Like, could you imagine being a Tyranid player and being told like what enriched rounds does?
Yeah, but I that's the thing is I think against the best armies you don't actually need it. So why do I need help against Tyranids?
Yeah. Well, Orks are going to be a thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Orks end up doing.
I assume that with all these squigs, I assume they're not going to be vehicles. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would be very surprised if they just removed it.
Oh, yeah, I agree on that.
Shocked. Bring back the Star God moments when they drop 50 points.
Bring back the Star God.
I will bring back. I've been playing the Star Gods. Mm-hmm. I think they're the only way Necrons even have a remote chance against Ad Mech. Is if you just go bananas on
unfortunate because like with Dark Elder, you're like I think you have to go away from the Katana. That's like,
to be fair, the Drukhari lists that ended up being the dominant ones weren't the ones that spam the mortals.
Yeah, it always looked like that was an option, but it's never really materialized.
There are some that are running like 30 Hellions, 3 10-mans I've seen, but
it doesn't look super.
With the beef of the warriors, you can actually protect it so they can't
hold it so easily. Get it?
Yeah. So, and then in the against those matchups, the Katana are actually useful with Skyfalling Stars because they can whittle those Hellion units down. So, I actually do think they are the best way to play the army right now.
Yeah.
Because they're not amazing into Drukhari if they're still running transport heavy, but you just have to accept that. I think the warrior bricks are actually still very good into Drukhari. Like you saw, I only lost by 3 points against Nick that one time.
Absolutely.
And I was a Hexmark Destroyer charge away from winning that one. Darn Hexmark Destroyers let me down every time.
They're so close. The Gloctopus.
The Gloctopus. What a legend. Sold me to the Farside Enclaves. Remove Lookout Sir for Ad Mech.
Done. You know what? Remove Lookout Sir for Ad Mech. Done. Hold on. Someone's mentioning Jagged Eye. Who's talking about?
He is the Storm.
He is the Storm. 100%.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either, but
But there's just support for Khan in the chat.
Jagged Icon is the best Primarch. He needs to come back. He needs a Forge World model. He needs everything.
But yeah,
Khan is the only Primarch without a model, and like I'm going the second he's out of mine.
I don't think anybody has gone for the crazy like anti-Ad Mech list like we went for crazy anti-Jakari though.
It's time.
I think it's
Now-
time. Like
now is the time.
if I can just, I would just throw every sniper I could find into a
The
list.
problem is that Drukari still exist. Where like Drukari were the meta, Ad Mech is now half the meta. It's like
Yeah.
I still need to play the Drukari.
Snipers are still good into Jakari.
Kind of, yeah, but with boats they're not great.
Have a good way to pop boats at least.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't think we've just been. I think if you tailor specifically Ad Mech, there are ways to deal with it. It's just you're trying to deal with other armies too.
Yeah.
That's been the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It ain't easy.
Mortal spam and sniping.
Mortal spam and sniping.
Think- If you can just flood a list with that type of stuff,
Yeah. Sure.
you can do damage. Armies with outrageous speed too, like a turn 1 Ravenwing army that's just on top of you.
It could be really.
They can
good
kill
over
a
there.
lot of Skitari that aren't buffed
That's
up.
what I want. Kill all these guys.
Stuff like that. I think that's the direction you need to go, which is unfortunate because it cuts out a lot of armies in the game. But if you're trying to win a tournament, there are ways to beat Ad Mech. You just have to really put it.
We'll have to pin up some Ravenwing. Gotta get that going soon.
Like I'd be genuinely scared of facing that.
Noted. I will prepare them.
Outflank the chat. It's the White Scar ambush.
Outflank the chat. I always love seeing white scars in here.
Straight through the webway. Remember that Cloud of Flies is so good. You have to pay 4 CP on Termies for it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they could have very easily put things that cost more resources depending on how many models are in the
Yeah,
unit.
they know that they should do that. They
did it for the veteran cohort.
consistently.
They did it for the
Yeah,
veteran
but they don't
cohort.
do it for the codexes.
So, did that Aussie 18 paint engine list ever hit the table against Ad Mech? I'm gonna assume no, because if you've watched any of the stream games we played, the chickens do work. into
Yeah,
that
the
stuff.
engines got work. by the way.
It's just like one time I shot the 2-man unit and picked up.
You picked up like a 3-man.
I
I
picked
think
up-
your 3-man picked up a 3-man. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like this is not what's supposed to happen, but okay.
How do you beat Jakari and Ad Mech as pure GSC?
What a question.
If you had the answer to that,
I would be playing pure GSC. GSC is in such a rough spot right now. I think they're the worst army in the game by an unfortunate margin.
I need to get my shape brush real quick.
You get up there.
Yeah, I'll just scoot around you. They have a 25% win rate the last month post FAQ,
Yeah, that was rough.
but the FAQ didn't help them, so that's not a surprise.
No.
Like, how did them and Tau not get at least some points drops on other things? Wouldn't that be amazing?
I think they're just. I'm pretending that it's because they're the new Genestealer Cult Codex soon. That is what I'm lying to myself about.
And by soon you mean in the next 48 months.
I would. Maybe after like someone has to be after Thousand Suns and Grey Knights, right? Why not Genestealer Cult or Tyranids? I would not be mad about Tau just because
I'm
they
surprised
deserve
Chaos
it.
Space Marines and Eldar are not out.
That's
Those
fair.
are popular armies.
Yeah, I was surprised that those ones are coming
I
out.
don't know.
I have some right here if you'd like. Yep.
Run 2x3 eliminators or 3. I think you start with at least 2, honestly. They're also
You
good
would
at
go actual sniping,
absolutely.
not the last fusel, man. Perhaps.
I mean, you could run one of the last fusels. I don't think it's terrible.
I like the last
But-
fusels, but
You've seen it in the stream games. I'm just floating my characters around all over the place. If I can't do that, I have to actually
the
think.
problem is I played against Eliminators twice, like 2 weeks ago at a tournament, and both times I hit for one turn and then I'm like, yeah, screw this, and I started floating the characters around, and you know what happened? Nothing. I was not punished for my hubris. When Eliminators tried to kill me, I just eventually got around to just.
You were playing
killing them.
Marines?
Yeah, just my Ultramarines. No bodyguards, just walked my characters around anyway. Eliminators aren't really good at killing Marine characters. They just don't quite get there in time. And then it's like, all right, well, now we're fine. We'll just deal
At
with
least you
this.
can kill the Marshal.
The Marshal you can probably kill.
The depreciation. I mean, you have to start somewhere.
That's true. You definitely have to.
Like Manny Chima's list has the Marshal with the solar flare. Get that guy out of there.
Oh, that would be really nice. Yeah, to kill that guy. You know what? I think I need to bring the Vindicare back.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm here in Vindicare. Vindicare is going to come in and kill 2 Ad Mech characters in 1 turn. I should just, every single paint stream, I'm going to roll the Vindicare against a Skitarii Marshal.
Well, you haven't rolled it this time, so
That's true. Let's do it today.
grab some dice.
Done. It's ready. All right, I've got a CP in the pocket to spend on the Vindicare. Let's do it, buddy. It's wounds.
T3.
All right, you got a save for me?
5 of Bring Roll and Enhanced Bionics. No.
I think he ignores that rolls, but he definitely fails on a 1. 2 damage. All right, on a 3+ he does Immortal. That's Immortal. A 4+ he does Immortal. That's Immortal. Is that 4 wounds?
Yeah.
Is that easy to death?
I think he only has 4. The Manipulus has 5.
That's 5 wounds.
Look at that.
6+. 6 wounds.
See?
6 wounds.
Even if he was...
that would have killed the Dominus. Yeah.
Dominus only has 5.
He's coming back. He's coming back. Vindicare's back in, folks.
He's back.
You saw it here first. Vindicare time. I'm gonna do it.
Is he... What is he, 100 points?
Yeah, he's only 100 points.
Bust him in the Space Marines, too.
You know what? He's in every list. The Vindicare is back, baby.
Emperor Spears. Vindicare.
Emperor Spears Vindicare. I will do it. Do not question me. I don't need an Inquisitor. Might as well bring an Assassin. You gotta keep these guys in check.
No, but honestly, just having at least some of it forces them to play differently, and that's a start.
Mm-hmm. You gotta do what you can there.
Would a Mortal Wound heavy Death Guard list do okay against Ad Mech?
I think it would have some play.
I think it's the best way to run Death Guard if you want to deal with Ad Mech.
Yeah, take it like those.
Speed's still obviously a major issue, but that's just Death Guard.
And you can always try to put some stuff in to deal with that, though. Like more drones, more faster units.
I don't think the drones are very good.
They're not
against Ad Mech.
I mean, nothing's good against Ad Mech. Like, what do you want?
There are things that a bodyguard role is very good.
Bodyguard's good. A couple small death shards I really like.
55-point canonist that does 12 mortals. She's good.
She is, but the cost is too high.
No, John, don't tell me that.
Cost is too high.
No.
She's not worth an entire detachment.
Get her in there.
No.
And losing Vol.
And Vol.
Come on, please.
It was pointed out to me that I could have kept Vol on her. I just have to have Vol target her with the reroll hits and wounds, and then I can still kill like 14 Rangers. Because she does like she can just go in and kill 14 Rangers. It's like that's so silly.
That's what you want.
That is what I want. You are 100% correct. That is what I want.
That's where you're trading up.
Yeah, that's the point.
She's 55 points, right?
I think so. I think she's 55. Yeah, it's not terrible.
That's a steal. Are Scions the right choice for Knight allies?
I think Scions are a great ally to Knights. They really help with mission play, especially actions. They're good for Custodians as well. Scions with either pure Scions or Scions with like some other guard units in it are great little patrol to toss in with your Knights.
We haven't seen the Scions in a while.
That's true. I wouldn't mind bringing them out again. But I mean, I'm just so excited for Krieg.
The forces of Krieg.
Deathcore. That's something you're going to see on this paint stream at some point. It's me painting a ton of Deathcore of Krieg. I may pay someone just to assemble the Krieg. I'd like to paint it, but I don't know if I have it in me to assemble 100 guardsmen again. I did that once and it just about broke me. I was a lesser man when I was done.
Yeah, this is the last time I'll be building and painting this many Skitarii, I hope.
Yeah, well, once you do it,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and Skitarii are still relatively new models. It's not like the Guardsman kit where, this was a replacement that was...
Skitarii are complex, though, in terms of painting them.
They are, yeah.
They are very annoying to paint.
Definitely are.
I just finished the Vanguard the other day, so...
I hope that, like, plastic Krieg models... You know what I'd really like to see? Is that instead of Catachan, GW's, like, one-off guard characters are just, like, random Krieg characters. And then they, like, build up, like a little model line for Krieg. I just think that'd be really cool. And, like, they actually get, like, regiment rules if Guard get a Codex soon. Maybe, like, a campaign supplement for Deathcore of Krieg. That would be really cool.
They're popular enough.
They're a very popular army. Like, I think, everyone loves Krieg.
They're in the memes.
They are. They're by far the memeiest of the Guard regiments.
Look at all these little servitors.
Like, I'm 100% painting up some Krieg.
Do you want to play against something that smashes open Skitarii bricks turn 1 in melee? I don't think you do.
What does that? Bloodletters do, actually.
Bloodletters. Yeah, bloodletters are.
Bloodletters 100% do, because you can't aspect scan them either, because it's teleport, not reserves.
Nope, you just need to overwatch them.
Yep.
So you need some way to ignore overwatch.
That's pretty strong. But, you know, even if you get overwatch, as long as it's not defensible, it's not the end of the world. Right?
You saw those Vanguard, John.
Okay, that was...
6 is auto wound, baby.
Yeah, that was really annoying. That was so annoying. Gosh darn it. Yeah. But like Rangers though, it's like 40 shots. They're only gonna get like you get like 8 hits, right? 8 or call it 9 hits.
Yeah, rerolling ones to hit
Yeah,
wounds.
you do like 6 wounds of bloodletters. You kill 4 of them. Like that's totally fine. Like 26 bloodletters is getting this job done.
Yeah. No, if they're running a 30 man, yeah, no problem. I think Mark is going for a little less than that.
I see. I don't know how many bloodletters you need to effectively kill.
I haven't done the math.
I haven't either.
How many points is a bloodletter?
I don't know what they do in combat, if I'm being truthful. I think they're a strength 5 power sword. And like
Strength 5? No, I think they're strength 4. I don't think they're strength 5.
But like Berserkers are strength 5. I'm not really sure. I don't have a good answer for this one.
Tell us what bloodletter.
Yep.
Oh, I played Tau for too long. I don't. Bloodletters just instantly evaporate.
Yeah, like who even knows?
Is there some way to bring Skitarii back, or did I have a nightmare? No, there's fortunately no way to bring them back.
God. I would
to bring back.
Chief Apothecary.
If they had the old strat, which brought Catfrons back and just made it for Skitarii, that would have made the Skitarii Veteran Corps broken if that was in there.
Yeah, that'd be too much. It's already too much. No, thank you. No, thank you.
A lot of hype for the Vindicare. They wanted him.
Heck yeah, bring him in. Get that Vindicare, baby.
Warhammer plus Vindicare, John?
The second I am capable of buying him, I will get him and paint him and put him on stream. Solemn promise. That guy's such a cool.
You have to wait a year on the subscription.
That's true. Which makes I feel like you should, if you buy this the year-long subscription, they should send it too early, right? Because you can buy it by the month or you can buy it by the year. If I just buy a year up front, give them like my $80, they should mail me a Vindicare right away.
Pronto.
Yeah, like give me my Vindicare. Give the people what they want. What do we want? A Vindicare. When do we want it? Right now.
Right now.
Turn 2 coming in from reserves.
Start him on the board like a champ.
Yeah, but you're just
He's in his sniper nest.
You get 5 turns. 5 turns of shooting out of him. He's a man. No one can argue it. The Vindicare is a champion.
He's not a character, but his nest is obscuring.
He is a character.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, you gotta obscure people with the sniper nets. I'm gonna deploy him like in a battle sanctum for like ultimate.
Obscure. What happens when obscuring is on obscuring?
I don't know.
Double obscuring.
Yeah.
Does the Raven Guard line of sight ignoring 4 damage sniper still exist?
I think it does. No, I don't think it ignores line of sight anymore. I would really need to check that. If it does, I would be tempted. That is a way to mess with Skitarii. Kill those marshals immediately.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Maybe during Brad week we have Brad play Raven Guard. He always hypes him up. I have a Phobos captain with like that sniper rifle painted. We can find out together. Would you be scared of that?
Yeah. 4 damage. He has 4 wounds.
Yeah, that would really
help. No bodyguard roll.
No bodyguard.
I would unironically rather bring the Imperial Fist quadruple orbital bombardment list over going on sniping. At least the sniping helps you play the mission though. Like eliminators are actually pretty useful. And they're cheap.
I miss that quad bombardment. That stuff was so cool. I love that.
Just totally unnecessary.
Yeah, it was very necessary. It was when Tau were like really a thing. Before Iron Hands just were like no one else gets to exist.
I found a way.
You did. You did much better than everyone else, as is tradition with your Tau lists. But the Imperial Fists were a very they had some strong claim to Tau. Which you needed because you killed all the vehicles and then Tau were like, I don't have vehicles. And you're like, well, mortals. Like, let's go. 4 orbitals in 1 turn. This is happening.
You know what Imperial Fists are also good into?
What's that?
Nick's mental state.
Oh my god. Poor Nick.
Too soon.
Way too soon.
Where do you go to secondaries when playing the Tau list? I almost always pick engage in all fronts while we stand, or to the last now, and then retrieve Octarius, which used to be scramblers. Pretty much choose them every single time.
Is it just me or does it smell like Nick is burning something?
It smells like there's probably something we should check on.
Oh boy. On that note, it may be just about time.
And if you want to know more about the Tau list, do check out the Art of War podcast episode that I did on it. Part 1 is free on the YouTube channel or on our Spotify or whatever, any of the places where you listen to podcasts. And if you want that part 2, you can sign up for the podcast itself. $5 a month, you get 4 episodes a month, and they're all high quality, talking about reigning tournament lists, the design philosophy, all the tricks built into them, and then matchups.
Absolutely.
What are we painting? So we're just about done painting. I painted a Skitarii Marshal, some Servitors, and then working on a unit of Sicaran Ruststalkers. John?
I'm painting a very complex menagerie of just sisters. I've got a couple Seraphim, a couple Multi-Meltas, so Sergeant, 1 Gemini, Cherubs, Zephyrim, just building up the whole army.
And these are going to be on stream many more times.
Indeed they will. Indeed they will.
The Nick memes never change. They never do.
Nor will they. Nor will they.
It's a constant of the Art of War here. So thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We got a lot of cool content coming out tomorrow. We have a subscriber match with Jack playing his Death Watch.
Yep.
That very scary Death Watch list into Mark Perry playing a really interesting Chaos list that went 5-1 a couple weeks back with Crimson Crown action.
The Crimson Crown.
And then in the War Room, he is playing his brand new Bellicor list into Jack Harpster playing his updated Sisters of Battle.
All right.
So, 2 hype armies going head to head. That's coming up tomorrow. And then if you're in the War Room, we have some really cool clinics on Friday, like the Math Hammer and the Stories clinics.
Yep. Even an Eldari clinic with Nick Nonavati.
Even an Eldari clinic talking about his latest Drukhari ideas and how to counter Ad Mech builds. So
there we go.
That's the content for this week. Next week, exclusive to the War Room, we have an awesome RTT coming up on Wednesday. It's going to be games all day. So instead of doing a Thursday YouTube stream game, we are doing 3 games in the War Room.
Yep.
And they are going to be Brad Chester, myself, Mr. John Lennon, and Nick Nonavati in a 4-man RTT going head-to-head with the best armies in the game.
Single elimination, 3 games. We're doing it.
So if you want to join us in the War Room, we are doing a promotional with that as well. 20% off your War Room membership for that first month. And that is Stream Champ RTT. So you enter that in and you get 20% off.
There we go.
So check it out. We're going to be putting all sorts of promotions about it and hyping up the lists very shortly. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to send you off to a promo of the War Room that we recorded. So thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great one, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.
So long.
Bye-bye.
Dive even deeper into competitive 40K and become a member of the world's most knowledgeable and positive community.
The War Room is an exclusive group that brings together the world's best 40K players as coaches to help anyone from a newer player to an experienced tournament veteran learn, grow, and reach their goals within our shared hobby.
Each week we offer a variety of live stream coaching matches centered around illuminating the thought process and in-game decision making of top players. We explain everything we're doing and why.
You'll learn about the ever-evolving meta, match play mission theory, list making, and discussion of every faction in the game, and have access to analysis of all the latest rules. Our team of highly experienced coaches teach weekly clinics on each individual faction, strategy sessions on deployment and cool tricks, and meta-analyses each week during Meta Monday.
We are committed to not only providing the best knowledge for players available, but also building a one-of-a-kind community.
Come be a part of the War Room.